Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of Midwest Mythos. And hey, sorry about the late drop on this one. It's still Tuesday. Just got back from um Operation Smoke down in Tennessee, undisclosed location. There will be a lot more to come from that, but it was a blast. If you all follow me on Instagram, you've been seeing all the pictures and stuff I've been posting. Got to hang out with Doc Brown from Prometheus Lens, Kevin from Where the Weird Ones Are, Drewski from Cryptid Warfare, uh, CW Operations, a couple other awesome people. The Cryptid Huntress Jessica Jones, yeah. Then my man Harley Owens from Bigfoot Reports and Data. Most of those guys you've seen on the show before, and yeah, we all just went out and had ourselves a good time. And more on that will be coming here in the future. There is little teasers of some stuff that's happened up on the Instagram. So if you're listening and don't follow me on Instagram, be sure to go follow Midwest Mythos, and you'll be able to see some crazy stuff that happened. And that is all I'm going to talk about right now with it. But with that being said, with me being down in the area, I figured, you know what? Might as well do the next episode of our National Park series here. In this one, we are doing the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Considering I drove through part of it, absolutely beautiful. But before we get right into that, thank you everybody for doing what you do, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing to the show. Show's been getting a lot of good momentum. I want to thank each and every single one of you guys for that, because it wouldn't be possible without you guys. There's potentially some really, really big stuff coming to Midwest Mythos here in the future. Um, if it happens, you guys will be hearing a lot more about that, but you might be seeing my face around more often, some other places. So, really, really looking forward to that. Just I ask that you just keep me and my family and your prayers on what it is that I'm supposed to be doing next. The podcast will still be here, but I think there's more to Midwest Mythos than just this podcast. But yeah, if you or anybody you know would like to come on and be a guest on the show, you can reach out to me. You can either email me at midwestmythospodcast@outlook.com. You already know in the link tree down below, there's a report and encounter thing form that goes straight to the email, or you can DM me at Midwest Mythos on Instagram. If you message me on Instagram, I'm going to get right back to you pretty quick. I've been on there quite a bit recently, more than I probably should. But yeah, with that being said, thank you guys again, and let's get into it. All right. So, the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This has probably been one of my favorite national parks that I've been to. Gone a few times throughout my life. Few when I was really little, can't even remember it. Went down there for one of my best friend's engagements a few years back. Uh, Went down there on a history. Me and some buddies took a history road trip. Drove through them. Absolutely beautiful. Completely different world than the Midwest up here in northern Indiana, lower Michigan. Completely different world. So the Smoky Mountain National Park was established June 15th, 1934. But it had been in talks of becoming a thing back all the way back in May 1926, when President Calvin Coolidge provide signed a bill that provided an establishment for the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and Shedona National Park. So it was one of those ones that took a while to get up and running, but boy, oh boy, am I glad it got up. So before we get into some of the legends and stuff, I just want to talk about the Smoky Mountains in general, not even the national park, and some of my personal experience with just the beauty that is the national park. Not even the sorry, not the national park, just the Smoky Mountains in general. So If you come from the Midwest like me and you ain't ever made your way out to the Appalachian Trail, it's a whole different world. They got a little bit of corn out there, got a little bit of soybeans, but no, they got a lot of trees and they got a lot of rolling hills and mountains. And they are dense. Our forest here out in the Midwest, a lot of under canopy, you can kind of see through. I mean, it gets kind of bushy in some parts, but a lot of it's, evergreens and stuff like that, especially up in northern Michigan. So you can kind of see into there, even when all the brush and stuff's grown. You can look in a little bit and see anything, but the brush down here, down in Tennessee, in particular, it is a whole different world. You can have somebody standing 5 feet in front of you, and if they're on the other side of a bush, you ain't seeing nothing. Which plays hand in hand with some of the stuff that we're going to talk about today. This is going to be a fun one for you. Lots and lots of legends, a lot more than Indiana Dunes and Isle Royale had. So, there's legends, there's a lot of Native American history, there's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of scary stuff, and a lot of historical stuff that has happened in the national parks, particularly Smoky Mountain National Park. Oh, 1 second. Sorry about that. As y'all can probably hear my voice, I am fighting something right now. I'm not quite sure what it is. Probably allergies or being caught up in the rain all weekend while camping. It could be sick or just allergies. I'm not quite sure. So please bear with me. All right. So we have everything from Native American legends to Bigfoot to Dogman to government conspiracies to portals being opened up into alternate realities. All this kind of crazy stuff, missing people, and we're going to get into all of it today for you guys. So, I figure let's start out with something a little weird that kind of got mentioned a couple weeks ago when I had Spooky CLT on the show, because, you know, Charlotte's not too far away from the Smoky Mountains, and we brought up the Wampus Cat. So, according to people, the Wampus Cat, a creature of American folklore, is often described as a large cat with a bobcat face and yellow eyes. It's pretty big. But there's other descriptions of it. Some people report it having like a human-like face. It's black as night. Some people say it has like matte fur. Some people describe it as having a super long tail with almost like I want to say like a stegosaurus like tail, like a little spike ball at the end. It even has 6 legs in certain accounts. It's quite weird. And if you can hear my daughter upstairs crying, I do apologize. She is getting her teeth in. So I do apologize about that. But it is what it is. I'm a dad with a podcast, and I hope you all understand that. If not, I really don't care. But so the Wampus Cat is it's a nocturnal creature. It's usually seen in pretty remote areas, and a lot of witnesses of it described almost being stalked, like they feel it before they actually see it. With a lot of, which is the case with a lot of these predatory type cryptids. Yeah, there's usually signs before you actually do see them. So, in Appalachian folklore, it is described as a protector of the Cherokee people, while other people describe it as a fearsome evil creature. But if you know anything about Native American history and the colonization and stuff like that, you can see why maybe it was a protector of the Cherokee with a lot of the stuff that did end up happening. But some people that have reported it, such as like in the last episode uh, with Spooky CLT, this thing kind of just morphed into a cat, kind of owl thing, and that may not have even been the Wampus Cat. I know we brought it up, but There's cases of that. Uh, but a lot of people believe it's just a mountain lion or a cougar that's getting misrepresented or misidentified, which can make sense too. But you know how it is. You know how I like to think about things. I'll take it as true until it's found as somebody gives me a reason not to believe it. The next cryptid local legends is Spearfinger. Oh, sorry. All right. Well, Spearfingers was a powerful monster with a long, sharp finger that she used to kill and eat the liver of humans. She was described as having stone like skin and could shapeshift and use her powers to lure people in. Uh, yeah, that's pretty terrifying. Just imagine walking through these mountains, an old mountain trail, and you see her, and you're being drawn in by the shape shifting lady, and maybe you think you're about to help a damsel in distress, and she turns into this goblin troll looking thing with this giant sharp finger and just pops out your liver. To me, that sounds pretty terrifying. I sure wouldn't want to run into her out in the mountains, and I'm sure glad I didn't when I was out there. And that probably goes to the next part of the legend. So, the Cherokee legend described her demise by they lured her into a pit, and the only place that you could kill her is where her heart should be, was this like lumpy black mass. And if you were able to, sorry, not where her heart should be, at the tip of her finger, if you were able to strike it with the arrow, you would be able to slay the beast. And some Cherokee man did, and ended her reign. Uh, I was not able to find any like recent encounters, so if this thing was running amok, it sounds like the Cherokee took care of it. And yeah, that's good. It probably makes the world a lot safer. The next thing we're going to get into, sorry. The next thing we're getting into is the Dogmen of the Smoky Mountains. So now, from here, it's going to get everything else is just kind of going to tie in. We're going to be talking about the Sasquatch. We're going to be talking about the Dogman, missing people, caves, uh, government portals, and government testing facilities. So I guess to start out, outside of part of the Smoky Mountain National Park is Oak Ridge. And back in the 30s, during the Manhattan Project and all that stuff, they were building hadron colliders there and getting some of the material for the nukes that were used in World War II. So between there, Chicago, Utah, New Mexico, all those areas, there was a lot of government testing, new things being done, and whew, some crazy stuff was happening. There were some crazy consequences because of it. So during the construction of Oak Ridge, there was encounters of a white wild man, so like a Snow White Bigfoot kind of thing. I'm not talking Snow White, pretty like Snow White. I'm talking it was white as snow, like some Yeti. But yeah, this thing was seen around the construction, terrorized people here and there, just scared a lot of people, and it's still seen today, actually. And we'll get back into that when we start getting towards Sasquatch some more. But we're gonna go with the Dogmen right now. So I've heard stories of these portals that are being opened at Oak Ridge, and Dogmen are coming through these portals. Now, if you go back to my conversations with Joe from the Ancient Enigma Files or Drewski from Cryptid Warfare, we talk about how the government might be creating these hybrids and letting them run amok in the national parks. let them out for feeding time, and sometimes they get a little wild and will start attacking people, which could play into a lot of missing people. It really seems like, just from everything I've heard and people I know who have ran into them, I'm not going to, don't take what I say as the truth by any means, because I don't want to be the reason that somebody gets hurt. But some people believe as long as you don't attack them first, they have no authority to attack you. But that's not always the case, because we don't hear the stories of the people they have attacked 99.9% of the time. There's a very few margin of people that have survived attacks with these things. Mr. Joe Barger being one of them. And I've heard a story of a man that beat one with a stick, but his buddy passed away. They are very, very, very dangerous, and I do not suggest going out and looking for them. And if you do happen to have any of these bad boys on your property, and they're messing with you, you got to hit up Drewski at CW Operations. Get the critter hitters out there, but take a look at it for you. But yeah, people report, especially in the Smoky Mountain National Park, hearing the sound of what seems to be like a giant gate, like a metal door opening. And it's not only this location. People hear it all over the place, but the most stories I've heard do come out of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park with these things. They'll hear this like metal door opening, and the next thing you know, they'll see a pack of them coming at, like, just tracking you down. Now, people have gotten away, escaped. My good friend Harley Owens from Bigfoot Reports and Data has actually captured pictures of a couple of them. He's ran into them, and he believes that is why places shut down, like campgrounds, places shut down, the national parks block off areas, is because they know this stuff is out there, and they don't want people to see it and get attacked by them, because, like I've been saying, these things are very, very, very dangerous. They're evil. I've never heard a story of a good dog man, ever. And yeah, they're just evil. And now the cases of Sasquatch in the Smoky Mountains, there's been a lot of sightings of Sasquatch. Now, I know people who have seen them out there, and after just driving through there, I can see why they're out there. It is the oldest mountain range in the entire world. They are very, very ancient. So if you go down they're Nephilim descendants, or descendants of Cain, or descendants of Esau. Uh, Speaking of Esau, shout out to my brother Doc Brown for the free copy of the Epic of Esau, and for letting me crash on your couch. Maters of the Universe forever. But yeah, if you want to go down the route of the ancients, it don't get much older than Appalachia. A lot of Native American culture. There's so many places for them to hide. The cave systems are insane. There's so many caves that run through the mountains. You go up to the Cumberlands, you go all throughout Appalachia, there's these cave systems. And there's people out there that like to talk about Sasquatch following the cave systems. Well, there's plenty of caves down there, and there's plenty of people who've ran into these things while they are down there. So, yeah, I mean, let me see if I can pull up. Uh, I know my buddy Harley has seen some around the Smoky Mountains. He's seen them in Virginia too. But there's been all kinds of sightings of them. When they were building Gatlinburg and stuff, people were reporting seeing Sasquatch. It's just insane how many there's out there. Let's see. Here's a. Sorry, guys. Here's one off the BFRO's website. This was a Class A sighting. I have not read through this, so we're just going to go off of it because it was late October of 2008. Unsure of the exact date. Approximately 2:30 a.m., my oldest son called me on his cell phone. I was upstairs doing some research on the computer, and he was downstairs on the back porch smoking a cigarette. I could tell by the tone of his voice that he was scared or excited about something. He said, "You need to get out here right now and bring the spotlight and shotgun with you." I immediately retrieved both items from my bedroom and met him on the back porch. His eyes were as big as dinner plates, and he looked a little pale. My son, 18 at the time of the sighting, started hunting the swamps of northern Florida, so he didn't get spooked easily. But when I saw him like that, I knew something had gone wrong. I said, "What's up?" He said, "Point the light over between the two sheds at the oak tree." I aimed the spotlight to where I thought it had been indicated, but saw nothing. He said, "No, besides the oak tree." I aimed again, but still did not see anything. He became agitated and grabbed my arm and moved the spotlight where he wanted it. And he said, "Right there." The light revealed a large, upright figure standing behind the oak tree. The animal was standing obliquely to us, using the tree to block our view. The tree was probably about 3.5 to 4 feet in diameter, and it was 30 yards from us, but we could still not see it. But we could still see it standing there with the right side of its body at an angle to us. I noticed as the arms hung almost to its knees, it became slouched forward a bit with its knees bent slightly. It covered with a brownish red hair, maybe 2 to 3 inches long, and appeared to be uniform in length except for the face. They say it kind of looked like Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. Yeah, I mean, there's just stuff like that all the time. If you guys really want to get into it, I could spend all day. I could have pulled all the stuff up for you to read, but there's so much. I highly suggest you guys go look into it for yourself. Not actually like in person. Like if you're gonna go in person, get a hold of the BFRO or some locals. I do not suggest, if you're not from the mountains, going in to the mountains. And with that said, we have some missing people. So oh, sorry guys. All right, so this is the story. This is probably the biggest missing person story out of the Smoky Mountain National Park. It has been unsolved for over 50 years. This is the Dennis Martin story. Dennis was only 6 when he vanished in the Smoky Mountain National Park. Some people thought he was kidnapped. Others reckon he got lost and disoriented in the woods. And people think it was worse. It began in the summer of '69. Um. All right. Yep. So in 1969, Martin disappeared on June 14th while while planning on surprise the adults and his brother. Him and some kids separated from the family. They were camping with. He went into a bush, and his dad, 5 minutes after not seeing him, decided to look for him. He became concerned and began searching. His father ran for 2 miles until he was sure that his son could not have gotten any farther. They sought help from the National Parks Service. The area where Martin disappeared was marked with steep slopes and ravines. Wild animals such as copperheads, bears, feral hogs, bobcats, and a massive storm came through as well that day. That night it was freezing. So it was so bad that the National Guard and the Green Berets were in, and they did not find anything. They searched everywhere, but they just couldn't find anything. His father began to put out a reward of $5,000 for any information. A few years after that, a hunter discovered shattered skeletal remains of a small child. He kept them to himself until 1985 because he feared he'd be persecuted for hunting for ginseng. But yeah, they never really found anything. People think that he just got lost and passed away. Others think he was attacked by a bear, and others think he was abducted. There's a whole thing about him being abducted with a certain guy. I'm not so sure about that. I honestly think that he probably got scooped by something out in these mountains, unfortunately, because as I was saying earlier on the episode, it just gets so dense out there that you can't even begin to think of seeing anything. It's insane, and let alone if it gets dark, you can't even see your hand in front of your face. Let alone a light. All that's going to do is just show you the front of the bush. You ain't going to see nothing else. But that's the Smoky Mountains National Park. There'll be a lot more concerning that general area here in the future. I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. Even the places around the park. Like I say, boundaries are just man-made. But when it comes to the stuff we talk about on this show, it can take place outside of those boundaries too. There's no, this stuff doesn't like to follow man-made lines. So, with that being said, y'all, sorry for the late and shorter episode this week, but y'all are going to love what's coming here in the future. I promise it'll be worth it. Bear with me and share the show with everyone you know. It'll be good, guys. I'm looking forward to bringing this stuff in the future, possibly getting some new equipment too. Sound a little bit better, look a little bit better. You already know. Thank you guys for everything that you do. And remember, if you or anybody you know would like to be a guest on the show, just reach out. God bless each and every one of you, and I'll see you all next week. Bye.